Hola mis amigos, we're making beef jerky. We're going to start off by marinating our meat, and as you can see here we have quite a few seasonings that are going into this. So we're starting off with 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of meat tenderizer, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, along with a half a teaspoon of curing salt. And you can find your curing salt in your grocery store or online. I am using this one here. It is by Hoosier Hill Farm. This is their Prague powder, and I got this one on Amazon. And you just want to follow the instructions for your curing salt as to how much to use. It usually depends on the amount of meat that you are using and by its weight. And I am just going to stir to combine all of our dry ingredients. And then we are going to go ahead and add a couple wet ingredients to this as well. For the wet ingredients, here I have 3 tablespoons of liquid smoke along with 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Next, we're adding 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce. And last but not least, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of molasses. And once again, we're just going to whisk this together to combine, and this is going to complete our sauce. Now, I've made many different variations of this. Sometimes I use some habanero pepper. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of pineapple juice. That gives it a nice sweet flavor as well as tenderizes the meat. So you can play with this and try all kinds of different flavors. But this one that I'm making for you today is just my standard, trusty go-to hickory smoked beef jerky, because I am using a hickory liquid smoke. For the meat here in this container, I have 2 pounds of beef bottom round, and you just want to slice them into whatever shape you want your beef jerky to be in. So here I have some strips here, and you do want to make them just a little bit bigger than the size that you actually want them to be, because remember, they are going to cook down. Now, this meat that I'm using here is a little fattier than I would want it to be. As you can see, there's quite a bit of marbling, so you just want to make sure that you dehydrate it thoroughly, because we do want all of that fat to render out, because we don't want this to go rancid. We want our beef jerky to last, so you want to try to get the leanest cut of meat possible, but this is what I'm working with and it will be fine. I just need to make sure that I cook it well. So all we are going to do at this point is just pour over the marinade that we made, making sure to get it all in there. And then I'm just going to go in with my bare clean hands and just kind of massage everything together. It is going to look a little runny right now, but just wait. You will see that the meat is going to absorb all of that marinade and flavor. Now, you can marinate your meat for about, a couple hours, but trust me, patience is a virtue here. I would go ahead and wait for a good 24 hours before you cook this. So I am starting this now, and then tonight before bed, I'm going to massage this again and place it back into the fridge. And then tomorrow afternoon, I will be all set to prepare the jerky. So our meat is looking nice and marinated, and as you can see here, it's already starting to drink up all of that juice. So this is going to be nice and flavorful. So into the fridge we go until tomorrow. It is now the next day and we are all set to start dehydrating and making our beef jerky. So here is the machine that we are going to be using to do that. This is the COSORI stainless steel dehydrator. Now if you've been with this channel for a while, then you know that I absolutely love all of COSORI's products. I have tried just about everything that they have, and right now their air fryer is my favorite kitchen gadget ever. I am using that thing several times a week. So I know that this one is going to be absolutely fantastic. They have high quality products. They have never let me down. So I have absolutely no doubts right away before getting into using this machine. And one thing that is really exciting about this, for me anyway, is that this comes with 6 stainless steel trays, and I'm so excited about that because I do have a couple other dehydrators and they all came with plastic dehydrating trays, and they are not that easy to clean and they don't really fit into my dishwasher, so I kind of dread using those because I know that I'm going to have a hard time cleaning those trays. But we're not going to have any worries in that department here. These trays are, of course, food grade stainless steel and they are dishwasher safe. You also do get a mesh tray as well as a fruit leather tray, which I'm really excited about that. I do enjoy making my homemade fruit leather. And true to COSORI fashion, just like any of their other devices, this one also comes armed with its own recipe book. So if you're new to the dehydrating world and if it might be a little intimidating to you, no worries, because you do have some recipes to get you started. And let's just take a peek in here. And here we have a table, I don't know if you can see that, of a lot of different things and the temperatures and the dry times and all that. And look, the very first recipe that is in the book is for beef jerky. This one is a simpler recipe. Aside from the meat, there are only 4 other ingredients. So this is a good starting point for those of you who have never made jerky before, if you just want kind of a basic jerky. And I'm seeing here their last step says to dry at 165 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 hours or until done. So I'm going to follow their drying instructions for our beef jerky. The machine itself could not be any simpler. We literally only have 4 buttons here. Here's our temperature and time button. We have our minus and plus sign to make adjustments, and then we have a start and stop button. So it can't get any easier than that. Now, this machine can go from 95 degrees Fahrenheit to 165 degrees Fahrenheit as far as the temperature goes, and we are going to be operating at 165 since we are making jerky. And as far as time, you can dry things starting from as low as 30 minutes up to 48 hours of dehydrating time, and it will automatically shut off for you when your time has been reached. I will have a link to this dehydrator in the description box below for you to check out. And now is the perfect time to get your hands on this because they are having an Amazon Prime Day sale. So Amazon Prime Day this year is July 15th and July 16th. You do get 2 days, and COSORI is running a huge sale there. So definitely be sure to check them out for Amazon Prime Day and get your hands on this wonderful dehydrator. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with making our jerky. Okay, so here we are with our meat from yesterday, and as you can see, it is looking wonderful. It has absorbed all of that marinade completely, and it smells fantastic. So one thing that I like to do, and this is completely optional, but to add a little extra texture and flavor to the dish, I like to add in some freshly cracked black pepper. And then I'm just going to massage this around again with my hands, and then we are good to go to add this to our trays and start making the jerky. So now it couldn't be any simpler. We are just going to add our jerky onto the trays, And you want to leave some space in between them so that they are not touching. And that will allow them to dehydrate more evenly. And another thing that you can add, just like we just added that fresh cracked black pepper to this, you can also add some chili flakes if you're down with the heat. But I opted not to do that today. We do already have some spice in here, some cayenne pepper, so it is going to have a little bit of a kick, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. So what I'm going to do is continue lining my trays, and then we will be back to start the dehydrating. Alright guys, so we are back and we have all 6 trays filled. I did end up coming up 1 tray short, so I do have enough meat left over to fill about 1 tray, so I'll take care of that later. But let's go ahead and get started with our jerkying process. So I'm just going to close the door here. And let's go ahead and choose our time and temperature. So there we are on 130. We want to take this all the way to 165. Alright, we're at 165, so now let's get our time. There we are. That's 8 hours, 7. We want 6 hours, so we are all set to go. So we're just going to press the start button. And there it is, the engines are revving up. And I'm actually quite impressed. I wasn't expecting this to be so quiet. My other dehydrators are quite loud. You can hear them throughout the house. But this one is pretty darn quiet, so I'm really impressed. So I will see you guys in 6 hours or so. I'm probably going to check on it halfway through. I do like to rotate my trays when I'm dehydrating, so I'll take the top one and move it to the bottom and switch, you know, the whole order of the trays. And I might even flip the meat, but we'll see how things are going at the halfway point. So I will see you when our jerky is done. All right, we are back. And the jerky did go ahead and cook for 6 hours. And here is what we have. Homemade beef jerky. I probably could have went for about an hour less because these pieces here are pretty thin, but let's give it a taste. Still nice and tender once you bite into it. And absolutely delicious. Special thanks to our friends over at COSORI for allowing us to try out this wonderful dehydrator. Again, I will have the link in the description box below, and be sure to check out their Amazon Prime Day deal. Beef jerky, enjoy, and I'll see you at the dinner table.